Hello, Christina from The Turned Leg, and I just wanted to update you. So in a recent video, I went to a historical museum and it was kind of what was left over from a garage sale. Recently, I thought I would show you, because you guys always love to see what things I find, is I went to another historical museum, but this time I went to their rummage garage sale on the very first day. And it did not disappoint. I found some really cool stuff. I think as a booth owner, so I have a booth at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall in Lincoln Park, Michigan, if you're new to the channel. And I've been a booth owner since 2015, and I think it's so important to get like the unique things, because that will help other people to kind of remember your space. And it's hard. My most recent thrift haul, luckily, I still am finding stuff at thrift stores, but I'm not finding the real unique old cool stuff. So let me show you some of the pieces I just found at the Historical Museum rummage sale. Here are all of the treasures in my van after the sale. I got this wash stand. I also got this antique settee. This just needed a little bit of polish. I also had to add a little bit more trim to it, but what a beautiful piece. I also got a bunch of hats. Are you looking for a new hat? How about this one? Or this one? Or even this one? Or maybe you need this one. I got this beautiful piece and a few other little trinkets. This is a Swedish belt. All of these pieces came to about $100. It was definitely worth the visit. Today is an exciting day. I am finally heading to the Maumee Antique Mall in Ohio. I have been meaning to go there for a while. I have a friend and fellow dealer at Plaza Antiques who has a booth there, and her YouTube channel is Junking with Lou. Give her a like and a follow. I'll leave all of her information in the description box below, but I hear it is a huge mall filled with cool stuff. So I'm gonna bring my mom and let's go check it out. Oh, and I also might stop by some of the thrift stores in Toledo, Ohio on the way down. I seriously cannot pass them up. And I just like to see what's there. Sometimes you hit a jackpot and sometimes you find absolutely nothing. So we're gonna pit stop those too and see if there's any good treasures. It's about an hour for me to get from Detroit to Toledo, Ohio. And it was a dreary day, so it was the perfect day to go indoors and look for treasures. The first store I went to was the Salvation Army right over the border in Toledo. I have visited this in many past videos. They tend to have lots of vintage items and a good furniture area. Always check what color is on sale for the day. Their furniture area did not have many antiques on first glance, so I headed right to the back wall for home goods. Prices were definitely on the increase in what I was seeing. Even this green pitcher, $3.99, was a little bit higher than I've seen it in the past. This was a great mug for any new moms out there. So I had to keep looking, and I was just looking for vintage items at good prices to resell in my booth. This was $1.99. It was a pretty vase, but I decided to leave it. I have a lot of vases right now. There was also a religious planter. That was at a pretty good price. And I was finding baskets, kind of a cool basket. I also found this. This is a great piece for me to help stage my items and take pictures of new items on as a background. The shoe forms also can be good staged as bookends in your booth. I had a lot, so I continued looking. I just love the color coding, and I have to say I probably should have picked these up. Ohio always seems to have good glassware. I don't know why, but Michigan, I just haven't been able to find a lot of it. These were only 99 cents each. I decided to pass because I still had a lot of other places to go, and I regret it. Time to investigate the furniture pieces. I found good stuff here before. I liked this piece. The price was a little high for what I've seen in the past, $50. I know it's probably a good deal for most of you. The drawers were solid. It had, though, little issues like the veneer missing here. So obviously it would have been more work, and I decided to leave it for someone else to find. Loved the chocolate container. It just cracked me up. I think we all need one of those. I checked out linens, really didn't spot anything, but I did see an unusual lamp. Coffee grinder lamp with an amazing shade. Would you have bought it? Off to the next thrift store, another Salvation Army. I'll put all the addresses down below so you can see. This is a very small store, but I have found a lot of good items here over the years at good prices. Home Goods was first. You really have to look. This was a pretty piece. It was a Mikasa piece, and they had a whole bunch. Just not looking to get more dishes. Dishes sell slow for me. They also had some really pretty ruby glass at 99 cents. I also spotted some milk glass, and I liked this little plaque, but I wasn't sure about the price point at $3. So I continued looking. You guys know I'm a sucker for clear glass. It's so pretty, and I was finding some pieces, but they just don't sell for me. But they can be just so beautiful on a table. I also found him. I don't see the glass busts very often. I headed to furniture. This was a good piece. I believe it was $89, the price tag. I didn't get a great picture of. It had an extra little like writing desk or a serving area you could pull out. So that's a nice feature, but obviously needed a bunch of work. So I decided to leave it. I love this piece. People are often pulling off the hardware and adding knobs. I'm not sure why they do this, but I see this all the time. It was already sold. I was looking for unique. I found this. My mom thought it was not unique, but the opposite, so I decided to pass. Really found, once again, nothing I was going to take home. Maybe I would find some treasures at the Maumee Antique Mall, which was our next stop. The Maumee Antique Mall is open daily, and as it says on their website, it's never a bad day to shop. There is a lot to see, so many dealers. We're going to see lots of good displays. The store is just packed with treasures. I also found a lot of different things than what I normally see in Michigan. Going out of state, you can just find different treasures, so that was really fun too. Loved the display of this booth. Ladders always can do so much. I also liked how they had end caps on both sides to kind of bring people in, some items facing out. Also encourages you to check out what you can see. Use of crates to put even more items in. There is stuff at every level. There are angles. Seriously, the dealers here really know how to do a nice job with display. Look at this amazing piano. You know what caught my eye? Yep, the legs. They are gorgeous. I have a few similar legs that I have in my booth. Anytime I go to an antique mall, I'm looking for great displays. Booth 2728 did not disappoint. I just loved everything about this booth. Look at the use of crates to build a center display. They can put so many items in. They had beautiful pieces. There was a great attention to detail. Like, check out the book pages they're using for a background, the curtains here. It was just an absolutely gorgeous booth to shop in. Remember that central display all made with those crates? The top is just salvage boards of wood. How cool is that? This would be an easy display to replicate, and it would hold so many items. This was the far wall in that same booth, and check out this beautiful hand-painted piece. but I knew I still had a lot to see. Now, I've been told that at Maumee, they provide shelves. You can get as many shelves, whatever size you want for your booth. So that's really nice for all of your small items. And so many dealers use the shelves in so many different ways to show off what they had. This next booth you're going to see had a great center display. I love the chairs are facing out with the table behind it. They also did a great job with color blocking all of their glassware on the white display too. This booth was a great reminder that if your booth is not very wide, you can still have a center display. They did a great job here, and there's so much room to even add in more items. These were a beautiful set of lamps. I've never seen anything like it. And do you know what this is? I've never seen one before. Are you a fan of dishes and maximalism style? This booth had everything, and it was all beautifully organized and displayed. And I really liked this booth. They don't have the walls, but they created like a wall facing out with bookcases, so they could put so many more items and kind of stop you in your tracks as you're shopping. You can also go in the space and look at even more things. And if you like salvage, make sure you head to the back right. This was booth 2899. Really cool stuff at great prices. There was a lot here I should have taken home with me. I might need to make a trip back. I think an ironing board always makes a great display. Here they are using 2 ironing boards in the center, which give lots of room for a lot of cool items. These were barn roof tiles, and they were cool. I've never seen anything like them before. They were around $5 each, which was totally a steal. I may need to go back and get those. They also had yard-longs, or at least almost yard-long pictures, and just so many treasures in this booth. Remember the 2 ironing boards in the center display. Behind them was a wallpaper table, not for sale, that also had a lot of cool stuff. Another great booth. I've honestly never thought about putting a bike up high on a shelf, but I think it totally works here. Catches your eye and draws you in. Here's a good easy center display, stacking items, and then there's plenty of room also to walk around. All of the aisles at Maumee are numbered and they're nice and wide. This is a great idea to make your glassware pop. Add some tissue paper to each glass so you can see what's written on it. So many eye-catching pieces at this mall. Look at this beautiful antique cabinet, $4.95. And don't worry, this mall has something for everyone. If you like mid-century, Glean Vintage, just one of the many cool booths that had great items. This booth had a great center display, really encourages you to walk all the way around to see everything. So many of the shelves and crates were just styled beautifully in Maumee. And as an antique dealer myself, I'm always looking for signs of awesome sales. I like how they pointed out the difference between cash or credit. I decided I'd look in here and see what I could find if there was anything I would take home. And this chrome and glass display piece was a great deal at $80. Off to another booth, and I have to say the shelving here made it so easy for the dealers to have lots of cool little items that you could easily look at. So many things I had never seen before. I'm always seeing the cow containers, but I've never seen it in black and gold. There was so much to look at. I was having a great time. Another beautiful booth, a good center display with lots to see. And I love vintage kitchen. Once again, I'm seeing pops of red all the way through this booth, catching your eye. Also, the plaid is repeated. They really did a great job of having a cohesive space. Once we had gone about halfway through the mall, we realized we just needed a little bit of a break. And luckily, Maumee Antique Mall has a restaurant inside, a little cafe where you can grab a quick snack. The prices are great. They have like hot dogs and chips and pop and coffee. It was a great place to take a break, and we could get back to shopping. And another center display with chairs facing out. I have to remember to do more of that. And I love to see a good collection. Brass is hot right now, and there was a lot throughout Maumee. Also had some decorations for Halloween. I also spotted some train pictures, which were very similar to the ones that I got recently in pretty frames. Which I haven't seen a lot of these. I don't normally sell items with trains in them. I just liked the frames. When I got them home, I was shocked to see what was inside. These are available in my booth, but honestly, when I was pricing them, I wasn't sure. I knew what the frames were worth, and I also know there are a lot of people interested in trains. And this showed not only the trains, but it looked like they were setting up or building the railroad in this town. So these are available in my booth, and seeing them at Maumee also made me confident of my price. It's always a good idea to kind of look around to make sure you're selling things for what you should be. And the back of this hutch caught my eye. What a beauty, even from the ugly side. The front side did not disappoint. I do love the vintage decals. There were a lot of vintage toys here, brought back a lot of memories for me, and lots of miniatures and dollhouse collectibles. And lots of great furniture pieces for any style. But I really was having fun looking at so many of the beautiful booths. Please check out Mother and Daughters Antiques on Instagram. They had beautiful items, and they took so much care in their display. I loved their color blocking books here in their bookshelf. Their booth also had lots of extra lights, which really helps you to see all of the items. Nearby, there was a military booth, and I have to say, I don't see this very often. In my area, it's so hard to find military items, but this booth was stocked with military and also some cool antiques too. I also spotted another yard long. This was another beautiful booth, although I could not spotlight all of the pretty booths in Maumee, or this video would take forever. Loved all the wood tones and the pops of yellow and green in this booth. They just really did an excellent job. There's also lots of things on angles, which really help to move your eye throughout the space. This booth also had wooden shoes in their booth too, which I am a huge fan of. Ohio is known for pottery, and Maumee did not disappoint. There were just some beautiful pieces. And another central display with those chairs facing out. I really love that idea, and I loved this piece of furniture. And we had finally reached the booth of my friend, Lou's Antiques and Collectibles. They're in the 7th aisle, dealer 144. She has an amazing talent with grouping things by color and just putting the coolest vintage items together. And there is so much to see, and her prices are amazing. She is also known for her jewelry and has a ton to look at. I have learned a lot from her over the years on pretty much everything about the antique business. And if you have a good memory, there was a booth 2728 in the very beginning that I really loved. Remember, they had that central display with a lot of crates. And once again, they are using crates in their display, and they have done an excellent job at staging all these little vignettes inside of crates. In my opinion, no antique mall is complete without a salvage area. Now, we already saw one booth at the beginning, but I'm pleased to say I found a second area with a bunch of cool salvage. And there were things in this booth that you just don't see everywhere. I'm actually looking for some big salvage to help dress up my own booths, and I was hoping this booth might have what I wanted. They did have a beautiful green screen door. It was on sale for $60. If I didn't already have one, I would have picked this up. Maumee is also jumping on the uranium glass trend. I love the lighted black light cabinet to really make it pop. Also, lots of great collections, the globes, and a whole bunch of humor. Loved that T-Rex just peeking out. And so many displays. I was definitely getting inspired and getting excited to get back to my own booth after visiting Maumee. The weirdest thing I spotted has to go to the dentures that they had for sale. Never seen that for sale in an antique mall. Overall, I had a wonderful time in Maumee. What an amazing trip to the Maumee Antique Mall. You know, I was a little bit worried that it would be too big. Every once in a while, I've been to those malls where it's like you almost need a hotel next door so you can take a break, because I become overwhelmed and then I just can't shop. But Maumee was absolutely perfect. Great thing too was they had a restaurant there, so you could grab a little bit of food, take a little break, and then go back at it. One of the things I was looking for was some cool like salvage that I can put to finish off one of my small areas of my booth. I really want some like architectural salvage, but I don't have an architectural salvage budget. On the way home, we're going to stop at the Habitat for Humanity in Monroe. This is a large place, and I've found things here before. They also have a Facebook page that they advertise quite often on. They had some good furniture pieces. Remember, I'm not really in the mood for furniture right now. I am looking for architectural salvage. They also get pieces that are good for display like these. They were already sold, but I've seen many dealers set up their booth with them. Loved this piece too, but I had to stay on task. They also have home goods and hardware, just a little bit of everything. They also have outbuildings here. Usually this is where the salvage is located. You could even get an entire booth today. They had doors. You know, if I found a old cool door, that might have worked too. So I had to take a look. There is a great selection here. Since the store is based on donations, you just never know what you're going to find. I've found vintage and I've found new stuff. Just depends what you're looking for. Look at these file cabinets. They were already sold, but weren't they beauties? So I kind of struck out, but it is always fun to look. Chair prices are so cheap, usually just a couple of bucks. So if you have a desk and you need a chair, you need to come down to Monroe. Even though I didn't find anything I was looking for today, I still had a wonderful time and I was so inspired by all of the dealers in Maumee. You know, it kind of like re-energizes you as a dealer to make the prettiest displays, to find the coolest stuff. And it always gives me new ideas by looking at how other people are doing it. I hope this video has inspired you too. If you know of any good places I need to check out, make sure to put them in the comments down below. Thank you guys, as always, for watching and liking and commenting. I really appreciate you, and it means so much to me. Now get out there to salvage, repurpose, and create. Oh, and my mom did pick up a treasure from Maumee. She's going to use this in her booth for display.